Good evening, YouTube viewers and subscribers. Today on the bench I have a nice recently acquired Super Tigre 40 engine. I believe this is a G40 engine. And a side story to this is that I think it was the second engine I ever purchased when I got into the hobby in 1988 was a Super Tigre G40 engine. However, that engine was not like this one at all, so I'm not really sure the actual vintage of this engine or not. The Super Tigre G40 I had, it seemed to me like it was a larger engine, but that was many years ago. It didn't have this type of exhaust on it. It had the standard, you know, fully cylindrical exhaust. It didn't have the adapter where you could turn it, but it was, or maybe it did, I don't know. All I know is the exhaust wasn't like this at all, and the case was not like this. I think it just said G40 on it in like raised letters on the casting. It wasn't like this at all. So I'm not sure, maybe this is an even older G40 engine. But so I'm sitting here looking at this thing, kind of looking it over, and it's got a little bit of caster, you know, darkening on it. It could clean up really well. This engine seems to have decent compression, and I'm thinking, well, you know what, I could just do a box to the bench run on this thing. But curiosity is really kind of overcoming me. I really want to look and see what the piston looks like, the top of the piston anyway. That's the other thing with my other Super Tigre engine. It didn't have nuts and washers like this retaining the exhaust. So that's I'm wondering if this is a much earlier design than the one I had in 1988. I'm sure those Super Tigre experts that are viewers on my channel will be able to chime in and help me out with the approximate vintage. Maybe this is actually a later one. I'm not really sure. I have no idea. I mean, it looks like these screws still screw into the exhaust, but then they're just retained with washers and nuts. I do not recall mine doing that. So at this point, I'm not sure if this is a ringed engine. I'm assuming it's probably a ringed engine, but kind of like a lot of engine manufacturers, it's hard to find chronological information on the variants of the engines that are put out. Come on. It looks like whatever the gasket was is kind of deteriorated a little bit there. So let's take these screws out. Let's see here. Okay, so it's a ringed engine. Let me zoom in here so you can see the ring there very clearly. Like I said, it's got very decent compression. Zoom back out just a hair more here. Let's pop this glow plug off real quick. I like that it's got a bronze or a brass insert for the glow plug too. Wow, that piston top looks brand new. Okay, so the heck with a box to the bench. Now this has really got me curious because I do see what looks like residue on the exhaust, which we'll easily clean off, but the top of this piston just looks brand new. Look at that. Get this gasket or shim here. Put that in the head. Actually, I should probably wipe that out, but I mean, to me, this looks like a brand new engine. So it's confusing as to how there could be this darkening here, which doesn't just rub right off. But it would come off very quickly in my ultrasonic cleaner. I don't know if that's going to be the right, yeah, it is the right size. So we can just pop this carb off real quick here too. So we can look at that crank. Yeah, that crank looks nice. I mean, this engine looks really damn nice. And of course, the final, let's just take a quick look inside here. It'll be interesting because I don't see the presence of a gasket. And this is made in Italy, so we know at least it goes back to the days, and I have no idea when the timeline was of these being made in Italy anyway. I don't know when they went from Italy to China. I really never really had too many Super Tigre engines for whatever reason. The one I had when I was first starting out in the hobby, even the best engine tuner in our club at the time had a hard time getting it tuned. Does it have an O-ring seal or what? It's pretty tight. It's tearing my thumb up here. The way this thing feels, it feels like it's got an O-ring seal. It does. Haha, wow! Now, that is quite interesting. That is really quite interesting. Clearly I can smell fuel residue. Now the crankshaft has got numbers embossed on it. It says 3251. I think that's a 1. 3251. No idea what that means. So this is a G40 ringed Super Tigre engine that has an O-ring seal on the backplate, which I think is that's just a superior way to seal a backplate. It's just my opinion. I've seen several engines, not a whole lot, but I've seen several engines that have this O-ring seal, and I just think that's awesome. Wow. Okay, there we go. Let's get this thing off. So it doesn't have the stock nut or drive washer, which is really not a big deal. Damn. So this is a really, really sweet little engine, and I can't wait to get it running, but I'm debating on whether I'm going to throw it in the cleaner and at least make it look pretty first. I don't want to disassemble this, so I might just take some LA's Totally Awesome cleaner, spray it on here, wrap it in a really wet paper towel with LA's Totally Awesome cleaner, and then just use a toothbrush, a vibrating toothbrush, to clean the outside of this. That gasket's going to be gone anyway. I'll probably drop that in the ultrasonic. So these three pieces, the carb, less the O-ring, carb, head, and the exhaust will all go in the ultrasonic cleaner, and then the rest of this will just get cleaned up by hand. So this has been a look inside of a Super Tigre G40 engine, and those of you that know Super Tigres well, please help me out with the vintage of what this when this engine was produced. Thank you for watching. Okay, I thought I'd pop back in here real quick and just say, here it is. You just went through a quick romp through the ultrasonic, the head, exhaust, and what was the other part? Oh, the carb. So I mean, it looks much better. I put a little bit of oil in there so the compression is nice and tight. Nice little engine. And I was wrong. These screws do not thread into the exhaust. They just go right through. That's why they've got this nut and washer on there. So I don't really understand the reasoning behind that, but because it's just more parts count, and you gotta have tools to do all that. So I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out if this means this is a earlier or a later variant of the G40, but either way, it's a sweet little engine, and I can't wait to take it out and run it.